Hey y'all, this is your chef. This is my first time going live on YouTube University. So I hope that y'all can see what I am doing. Right now, I am getting ready to make some southern fried corn. Because I'm like, hey, I have never gone live in YouTube. I'm a big ham. I love to have fun with people in person. So I was like, hey, why not do this live, right? So what I got in here is some butter. Always butter, especially when it comes to southern cooking. I got butter right here and a little bit of bacon fat going on in my skillet. Now, I gotta just let you know this, okay? Now, this isn't necessarily traditional southern cooking, because the reason why I'm saying it that way, this isn't the cast iron skillet, okay? I don't have a cast iron skillet. I have a cast iron grill pan, but I don't have a cast iron skillet. But we're not gonna let that stop us, right? Because as my tagline says, for those of you that follow me on YouTube, my tagline says a recipe is just a guide created the way you want using your heart and your head. Okay? So what that means is that, look, y'all gotta just use what you got on hand sometimes, right? So you may have seen somebody else's recipe and you decide, hey, I want to go ahead and do that, but oh my gosh, I don't have this or that. That's when you start thinking about other recipes and how you can put together some things and come up with your recipe, okay? So that's what we're doing right here. Okay, so I got my bacon fat and butter going over here, and I'm cooking for real, y'all, so you're going to see the stuff splattering. Right now what I got is the Trinity. Trinity is, for those of you that already do some, y'all probably some knowledge or you know what I'm talking about, onions, peppers, and celery. And I want this to look pretty, y'all. So I got the red ones in here too, okay? So we're gonna take this and stir this around a little bit. Ooh, it smells insane, y'all. These are called our aromatics, okay? The aromatics, oh my gosh, I forgot to get my seasonings. Gotta get my seasoning. So you're gonna see the back for a minute, but that's why it's called Cooking Live, because you're gonna see all kinds of things, all right? So hold on. Comment in there. Do you smell it? I see some names. I see some faces. Don't worry, if I don't get to you today, I will answer later. I don't know how this thing works, so we're doing this together. So hold on. How dare I not have my seasoning? I love my seasonings, y'all. Gotta have my seasonings. You gotta have your seasonings. Gotta be ready. So I got what I have to season this dish. I got garlic powder. I have onion powder. I have my pimienta muida, aka red pepper flakes. For those of you that have followed me for a minute, y'all know that I like to have red pepper flakes. So, ooh, look at that. It's just doing its thing. So what I'm doing is sweating it out. I'm trying to get those juices out of here. All right, get those juices from here, because we're building our flavor base, y'all. That's what this is. It's building a flavor base. And it smells so good. Smells so good. Okay, so another thing. Southern corn, fried corn normally has the one that cut off the, your chef wasn't trying to do that today, okay? A lot of times I don't do that. I'm just gonna keep it real. There are other ways you can do it. I have frozen corn today. It's been thawing for a little bit, and I'm gonna use frozen corn because that's what I want, okay? Again, a recipe is just a guide created the way you want using your heart and your head, okay? So I have my frozen corn that I'm gonna be putting in here. And then I want you to know that, hey, if you don't have frozen corn, you can use canned corn too, y'all, okay? So again, I got the Trinity in here, onions, peppers, and celery. And now I'm getting ready to put some garlic in here because I want fresh garlic. It's just, don't use the stuff in the jar. I'm, there are some things that I'm just, what else should I say? Anal about. Don't use the stuff in the jar, y'all. The fresh tastes so much better. Now, I know the reason why people like to do the stuff in the jar because it's convenient, okay? Just get your garlic press. If you don't want to, chop it up, mince it up, just get a garlic press. Get a garlic press, be done with it, and I'm telling you, it just fragrances much better than the stuff in the jar. Okay, that's my soapbox, but if you do it, I'm still going to love you. All right, so now I'm going to put some fresh garlic in here. Going to stir this around, building that flavor. So you're building the flavor base. Ooh, y'all, I put the garlic in there and it just smells like, ooh, oh my gosh. This is the type of dish that if somebody was walking down the hallway or wherever, they'd be like, ooh, that house smells good. That draws people in. It's the aromatics, the aroma that brings people in. So we're just going to let that do its thing for about 30 seconds. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the corn. Okay? I'm going to add the corn. Now this is going to be a little bit. So I don't want you to think that this dish is going to be done in record time. No, it's not. It's going to be a little bit because it's called fried corn for a reason, y'all. We're frying the corn. Now, got to tell you a little something. The way my grandmother used to do it, she did the cast iron skillet. She didn't make fried corn like every week. She made it. I can remember it mainly for like the holidays and maybe some Sunday dinners, but definitely like Thanksgiving or whatever. So I turned the heat up a little bit so this can do its thing. Need to cook. And what I'm going for is I'm just trying to get just a little crust on the corn, just a little bit. I probably won't be able to do that all right here with you guys because I'm not going to stay on live like that, y'all. I'm not going to stay on live real long. Speaking of going live, you just never know what may happen. You may hear my cat in the background. My husband might walk past, okay? But I told him, hey, look, I'm going live today, so it is what it is, okay? So he might walk by, there's a game going on, and you know how the men like they have their beer. So I told him to try to have everything in the back, so that he doesn't have to come in here, because they're going to see you just the way what you're wearing, okay? So I just came from church, right? We went to church, and while I was in church, I was sitting up there thinking, ooh, what I'm going to fix today. Yeah, sometimes, chefs do that too. It may not be planned, y'all. It may not be planned. I have a rotisserie chicken that's waiting for us. Us being my husband, my mother, and myself, okay? So we're going to have fried corn, and I'm going to have some cabbage because I didn't get any greens, and there's no shame in the game. This is not necessarily a southern, a real authentic southern dish menu, if you will. But what is southern, okay? We can talk about that another time, but what exactly is that, okay? Cabbage, is that southern or is that from the islands? Because, they have that in their cooking, right? So, yeah, that's what I had a taste for. Now, I was trying to talk my husband into making catfish nuggets, but again, he's in there watching basketball game. So I was like, okay, that's fine. We're just gonna have rotisserie chicken because, again, your chef did not feel like, hey, I'm human, all right? I'm human. I'm a busy mother. My kids are grown and gone though. Grandmother, my grandkids aren't here. My mother. She's 85, blessed to have her still. I'm her caregiver. So, hey, and in some respect, I'm my husband's caregiver. And I have an aging cat. He's 16, okay? So I have to take care of all of them. So when I can get a pass and not do all of that stuff, yeah, I do it. All right? So give yourself some grace. I talked about giving yourself grace on my Facebook page, maybe last week, a couple of weeks ago, or something like that, because sometimes we need to give ourselves grace. Give ourselves grace for, oh, well, that didn't work the way I wanted, you know. Like one day I was trying to cook my mother something, put something together. Now, I'm a personal chef. You can see personal chef service. But I haven't personal chefed for anybody on the outside in quite a while because I'm my mother's personal chef. She's my number one client and I love her to pieces. So sometimes life be life, as they say. So I didn't get a chance to do things, you know, like, oh, let me go in there and whip up something for her. But what I did do is I went to the grocery store. I got rotisserie chicken, fabricated that, you know, took it and cut it into pieces. And then let me back up. That particular post, what I did was I went to the counter. You know how the grocery stores have deli counters and they have all the goodies there? Well, I got a dinner for her. And the dinner was rotisserie chicken in their two sides and some, what was it? A roll, okay? So both of us had that. And I didn't eat the roll. I don't even know if she did. But anyway, I gave myself grace for that because at least I was giving my mother some nourishment, right? It wasn't about, hey, you didn't feed your mom, you know, or something like that. I felt good. And she was happy about it too. Hey, at the end of the day, we just want something to hit our stomach, right? We want something to hit our stomach, and it was pretty decent, but of course it wasn't as good as if I made it. But I was just happy, and I said, that's okay. But what I did later on, I burned in the kitchen, y'all. I made something good for us. So sometimes you have to, you know, you can get a chance to come back and make up for it, right? Make up for it. So let me tell you what's going on in this stainless steel skillet, by the way. The corn is starting to brown a little bit. And I know I could pick up my camera so you can see it. But again, I don't want any issues trying to do that because this is my first time. So you're just gonna have to trust and believe that it's starting to brown a little bit. So I'm gonna let that hang out and chit chat with you a little bit more. Hey, I see somebody says she's from Ohio. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. I am in the ATL. I'm in the ATL. Yes, thank you so much for coming in. I see yes, International Women's Day. Thank you, thank you. Y'all gotta forgive me, okay? Like I said, for those of you that are probably just popping in a little bit later, I said that this was my first live. I've gone live on not YouTube, Facebook and Instagram, but I've never done it on my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is me, Chef Sonya King. This is how I am. I like to have fun. I like to cook, bake, cake decorate. Maybe one day I'll come in here decorate, do some decorating. Ooh, look. Now, can y'all see how it's starting to brown right there? That's what you're going for. All right, we're going for that caramelization. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm taking the back of my spoon to get up those yummy bits because my grandmother did that. She got those yummy bits. God rest her soul. She is the reason why I'm a chef. Unfortunately, she didn't live to see me become a chef, but she planted that seed when I was a little girl. But I didn't always know I wanted to be a chef. Let me turn this down a little bit because we're not trying to have it burned either, right? So, yeah, my grandmother, fabulous cook, fabulous baker. She wasn't so much into the cake decorating aspect, but she could bake her butt off when it came to cakes. pies, cookies, you name it. And she did kind of dabble in the cake decorating, but she didn't go as far as I did, where I took classes, with the piping bags and all of that stuff. Some of y'all already probably know about those classes. But yeah, so I didn't get that far like she didn't get that far like I did, but she was so excited when I sent her a dummy cake that I had decorated, and she had it on display in her dining room for, she said she wanted to display something that her granddaughter made, and the smell of the royal icing, it just smelled so good. And she was just pleased as punch to see how beautiful it looked. So, true story. My grandmother used to have meetings, and one of the ladies was getting her mouth set because after my grandmother had served the main course, if you will, the lady was getting ready, thinking that she was going to have some of that cake. Dummy cake, mind you, okay? So, yeah, no, she didn't get a chance to have it. My grandma was like, no, that's a dummy cake that my granddaughter had decorated and sent to me. But I thought that was just so funny. So, yeah, we got to season this stuff, right? We're going to season this. Put some onion powder on here. Garlic powder. These are my usual seasonings, by the way. I got, this is Himalayan salt, pink Himalayan salt. You can just use any salt besides table salt, okay? Don't do that. When you know better, you do better. We're older now. We're gonna cook like grown-ups, okay? A cracked black pepper. Oh, this is popping like popcorn, y'all. Yes. So we're getting this. Now, let me tell you something. The reason why I put the red peppers in there because I wanted that color. I wanted this to look like tricolor corn, if you will. And it's also sweeter, okay? It's also sweeter than the green ones. It's ripe, okay? The green ones aren't ripe, for those of you that don't know this. All right. Oops. Oh, look at that. I want y'all to see. You see that crust? Can you see that crust? That's what we were going for down here at the bottom. Ooh, yes. Lord help. Now, if there's a way that I could put the recipe in here, I will do that. Basically, I just used 2 bags of corn. I used some spoonfuls of the Trinity and had my 3 cloves of garlic. And I'm going to put a little pimento molida in here because that's what I want, right? There's some red pepper flakes. You can crush it with your fingers if you want, but I'm not doing that because I don't want to. Ooh, y'all, smells good. So I'm going to put just a little bit of Italian seasoning on here because, again, these are my go-to. Now, again, this is not your traditional Southern, but you get the gist, right? You get the gist. Now, before I put my heavy cream in here, if you follow me on my YouTube channel, you know that I always say, you got to taste your food, right? Nope, needs a little bit more salt. But this corn is sweet. It's got some sweetness to it. A little bit more salt. I like to salt stuff myself while I do have, your traditional seasonings, with the seasoning sauce. I do have the ones that people mainly buy. I'm not going to name any names, but I usually just like to control the salt. I have my own salt, okay? So now after I've seasoned that, I'm going to try it again. Single use spoon. My other spoon right here needs some more salt. Needs more salt. So we're going to just go around, cut a little bit more. And then I want a little bit more from the black pepper. Ooh, now it smells more seasoned. Now I want y'all to look. Can you see that brown bits? That's where we're going from, okay? Oops, I did. Corn overboard. Now we'll try it again. My mind is saying I really should have used 3 bags because my husband, whatever. That's better, okay? Now, I'm using heavy cream. Turn this up a little bit. Heavy cream. Can y'all see? I might have to put a little bit more here. A wee bit more. Yep, a little bit more. Now, when my grandmother did this, she used to make hers with a slurry. Slurry being, it could be cornstarch and flour, or, cornstarch and water, or flour and cornstarch. I did it again. That's what I told you, this is live. Flour and water, okay? And it was great. It was great, y'all. So what I'm doing is I put the cream in here. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more. So it's probably, I don't know, about a cup I put in, not sure. That's the thing about cooking. Cooking is more about, you know, it's not a science like with baking, okay? So you don't have to always be exact. Ooh, baking is a whole nother beast, and I love that beast. All right, so I'm gonna let that hang out and let that thicken. And I'm also gonna put a little bit of sugar, granulated sugar in here. This is optional if you don't want, if the corn is sweet. But because, like I said, my grandmother did that, so I'm doing it. Again, it's based on what you want, okay? If you decide, hey, I don't want the pepper flakes in there, you don't have to have that. If you decide, I don't want the Trinity in there, you don't have to have that. I will tell you that, you know, to have the onions are the flavor base. To have the onions, that's a great thing to do. See, can you see that, y'all? Okay. You're doing great. Keep on keeping out. You go, girl. Thank you so much. You take it easy too. Thank y'all for popping in. So, yeah, it's basically we're just trying to get this thickened up. And I'm not trying to have this be like, I saw some corn, and it was good, but it was just a little too sweet for me. And we had at an event I went to, and the sweet corn, it just didn't have any dimension to it. It tasted like it was just sugar in there. Whoa. Husband's going to be happy. So I'm just letting this hang out. Don't need any more cream. Letting it cook for about 5 minutes. And hey, I just wanted to let y'all know something. That your chef is also an author. I was an author anyway, but I'm a 2-time author now because my cookbook just dropped a couple of weeks ago. And it's called Kreations Nation Cookbook. Creations, right? Kreations Nation Cookbook, Volume 1. Is this recipe in there? No, it's not. Okay? This is the cookbook. I'm so proud of it because this is my first cookbook. My first book was about my journey back to the kitchen. It's called Chef Where's Dinner, my journey back to the kitchen, and that was a memoir of 2020 had us pivot, right? We all had to pivot. I couldn't walk. When people were, upset because, hey, I can't, do anything, your chef was laid up in the bed, couldn't walk, in excruciating pain. I had dreams of having a cookbook for a long time. And, again, like I said earlier, life be lifing. So I didn't get a chance to do those things. And when I was going through my little saga, I was talking to my pastor on the phone. And I said, Pastor, putting a little bit more sugar in here. I said, Pastor, I think I should write a book. And he said, you should. So that's how that first book came about. And this is pretty much ready now. Don't want it to cook any much longer. But I wanted to just say this. That book is the foundation. If you were interested in that, Chef Where's Dinner, My Journey Back to the Kitchen. If you want to know about the chef behind Kreations Nation. So Kreations Nation is not about me, y'all. It is not about me. It is my followers, supporters, so on and so forth. This is a community cookbook from our tables to yours. So I have 27 recipe contributors in this cookbook from Georgia to Alaska. In the cookbook, I have men and women, mainly women, dips, appetizers, main dishes, of course dessert. And yes, your chef has some recipes in there as well. It makes a great gift, for people it's not even that you just started out. You may already know how to cook and you just want to add something to your repertoire, right? But that's what that book is about. And I'm so proud of the men and women that contributed. My kids are in there. They're grown and going, like I said, but they have some recipes in the book. So this is my family legacy. And as far as this recipe right here, it'll be in volume 2. Yeah, because I do plan on having a volume 2, y'all. Kind of working on it right now, but this book just came out, so your chef gotta have a break, y'all. I need a break because it was interesting. But here's the dish. I'm gonna try to take a nicer picture for y'all. Maybe get it all purted up for you so that I can, maybe I'll AI it, okay, so it can look nicer for you. But look at that. I have been cooking with y'all for 29 minutes and enjoying chit-chatting with y'all. And I just want to get out of here. And if you are interested in my cookbook, it's on Amazon. Both of the books, Chef Where's Dinner, My Journey Back to the Kitchen, and my Kreations Nation Cookbook, Volume 1, is on Amazon as well. All right, y'all. So Mama and hubby, they're hungry, so I need to get out of here. But I wanted to remind you, I'm Chef Sonya King with King Kreations PCS. And don't forget that a recipe is just a guide created the way you want, using your heart and your head. See you next time. I don't know how to turn this off. So you're just going to have to see me for a minute.